In this video, I'm going to show the Google Doodles Winter Solstice is supporting the Antichrist and the End Times prophecy. In this, we see the Winter Solstice layered twice on top of each other. In this, we're using a combination of inverted color and the difference between normal and inverted color to give the pop of the eyes. Here we see the blue egghead. The egghead is representative of the people who think they are smart, but they are not, who will end up in the New World Order. Notice the two horns and the two sort of hats. These represent the two-headed beast. In this case, Trump is the left eye and Obama is the right eye. If we look at the top, the two snowflakes that combine form an A for Antichrist and T for Trump. It's also representative of the attack, the high-altitude EMP. The three black lines represent the unholy trinity. And the 12 stars altogether form the star snowflakes, the 12 disciples of the Antichrist spirit. Souls stack. For the most part, all the world leaders, like Queen Elizabeth and the Prince Harry and William, will be killed during the World War III attacks. After Obama is slain, he will come back with all 12 souls stacked into one entity, which will make him a very formidable Antichrist. Panning out, we can see that the two tangles of O's and twines represent the two tsunamis, the East Coast and the West Coast judgements. If we zoom into the characters which is superimposed, we see a combination of a star representing the Antichrist with a giant erection and the WW3 symbol, which is a guy drowning in water. This is a part of the 5 judgments, or the snowflakes for the USA, with the UK and the rest of the world falling behind. The first is Hawaii. The Helena slump will fall off. This will then take out Hawaii and then the West Coast. About a week later or so, around July 4th probably, the East Coast will be attacked by a sneak attack by Russia. And then finally a high-altitude EMP, probably by the US-controlled CIA and North Korea. And then finally the Hoover Dam. These attacks can also be found in the Pet Goat 2 video, by the fireworks in the background. This is my best guess at what those represent, as well as the bullet assassination of Obama. You notice the top of the skeleton has Trump's hair. And zooming in, we see the 5 fireworks are represented in the 5 claws in an attack position. This is also seen in the summer solstice Google Doodle. The dude in the center represents America, and the dinghy represents the continent. Around it are surrounded, like there's this lily pad, there's this fish, and other things represent the things that are coming at her. The small fish with the red fin represents the New York attack because it's headed toward the head, which represents the Statue of Liberty, which is going to be decapitated essentially as a nuclear tsunami, which is about 1,600 feet high, taller than the Empire State Building, hits and knocks it out, along with most of the coastal sidelines up to miles inwards, maybe 5 to 10 miles. Inside the O and the rock beneath it, we see the shapes of an egg, which represents the birth of the New World Order and the type of people it caters to, which have been referred to locusts, because of their feeding frenzies, frogs, and also pet goats. In here, the rock on the far represents both Trump and Obama. Trump is killed in the nuclear attack against New York. His hair represents a tsunami, and the pushing daisies represents his death as well as the Trinity. The head in the back represents Obama, who won't be killed in World War III. He will be assassinated later, most likely. The actual lily pad represents his home of Hawaii, his supposed, actually faked birthplace. And that green mountain represents Kilauea. And the pink stuff that's off to the right represents the fissures of the volcano going off. The arrow points to the level, the direction of attack. In this case, the feet of the dinghy dude, which is the West Coast or California. This flower represents the birth of the Antichrist, and the other side represents the global leaders on the UK. All 10 of them will be slain. That represents the grass, represents the blood marks, and they will all be integrated into one fully incarnated Antichrist spirit, because the souls stack or superimpose. The inflatable donut represents also the portal between the afterlife. So for example, in this case, this person could be falling through the donut into the water. The rings represent the tsunami and the opening of the portal both directions. Good people go up, evil people go down. This is further shown in the winter solstice in the animation. On the top left, we see the bride going up, with a little bit of help, the rapture of the body, which takes a little bit more time. These are people who are more attached to the world, who are token Christians or backslidden, or apostasy. In the hue-shifted color space, we see what the tribulation saints. These are people who will be beheaded rather than take the mark of the beast. In inverted color space, you can see on the bottom, if you combine it with the E in Google, take the two long elements as the horns and the middle part as the goatee, a reasonable semblance of a demonic or antichrist symbol. On top, we see the color space makes it look like Obama, spread eagle, just as we saw in his presidential portrait, which he was recently seen wearing his antichrist suit. The top part of his headdress represents the 12 spirits that are superimposed to create the one antichrist, which includes the person off to the left of him. On the left, if we extend the smile of the hole that this entity that's bursting out of the ice makes, we can see that it maps to the iPet goat video fairly accurately. And if we take that iPet goat logo and shrink it and superimpose it over Trump, we can see a very, very close match, including the dominant teeth in white. Inside the iPet goat video, we can also see references to this hair and tsunami, as well as the five-fingered attack on top and 6 using the horns. And that small one of the blue rake next to is also the indication of Trump getting his horns. You notice it's on the opening shot as the NWO soldier, and it crosses over to the hair, which we see hinted in iPet Goat 2 video, as well as the Gemini symbol off to the right represents the fully fledged Antichrist spirit, with Trump on the left, the 3 dots representing the nuclear symbol, the 2 horns, and the piercing on the right is Obama's head with or his joint head with the O representing the supermoon, most likely, of the formation of the birth of Obama. The many little dents are the Antichrist disciples. If you count them up, there are about 10 of them, 12 altogether. The 2 big ones representing Trump and Obama, which will both be killed in the attacks. Trump in the new World War III attacks, and Obama assassinated later. You can follow me along on Twitter for now if you're curious about more. You can find me at Troy_Gardner.